Hey guys, it's me Sakit. So this is my first video and I'm gonna be making a tool stand for my Dremel tool. As you can see, it's a regular Dremel 3000. It's nothing out of the ordinary, just a simple tool. I'm gonna be making a tool stand to keep it positioned right there in the middle of the workplace, of the workstation, because I'm gonna be making an automated tool like a robot to make cuts in acrylic later. So I need for it to be in a specific position and don't move, so that it won't move. So I'm gonna be using some wood blocks, and this wood block is a little bit larger than I need it to be. So I'm whacking it, so I'm splitting it with a knife and heavy pliers, so that I get these two pieces. Now one of these pieces is gonna be the back support. I'm gonna be cutting a notch in it, as you can see, using as support. I'm gonna be cutting a notch in it so that the back side doesn't roll. As you can see, this is a sort of cylindrical shape of the tool, so it needs something to sit under so that it won't roll over. It's sort of an egg shape, so it doesn't need to be too deep. And I also don't want it to be too raised because it's gonna get awkward to handle. So right now I'm just gonna mark the area that I need to cut from the contour of the tool. So there we go. Mark one side, mark the other, and from there on I'm gonna be marking how deep I need for it to be. So I'm just gonna mark the depth. It's just, again, sort of an egg shape, half egg shape, and this is how deep I'm gonna cut. I'm gonna be using the woodworking tool technique, sort of notch and remove, testing the fit. Again, it's all good. So I'm gonna be using the notch and chip method. So I'm not a woodworker, so I don't have the correct tools. So I'm gonna be using a hacksaw tool just to notch the piece of wood. I'm gonna be fast forwarding because it's just notching wood. And I also don't have any chisels, so I'm using the same knife that I used to split the wood with. I'm just gonna use it as a sort of a chisel to chip away the wood in between the notches. It's just to remove the bulk of the wood without having to file it all away, because it's just easier to do this. Okay, fast forward again, just clearing the chips, and from clearing the chips, as you can see, it's all jagged up. So I'm gonna be filing it just a little so that it has a smoother surface for the tool to have better support. And since it's a rougher surface from the filing tool, it won't slide as much as with the shiny new split wood. So it should have better grip on the wood. So right now I'm just gonna finish clearing the edges because there's some loose pieces of wood there, and I'm gonna file it smoother but also rough. Okay, so there's jump cut, and from there I'm just gonna screw it to the side of the workstation workbench thing. So again, I'm gonna test the fit to see where I'm gonna position it. As you can see, I have sort of an X in the workbench where I want to have it be the center of the workbench. Also, I'm gonna be making videos, so it's nice to have a cue where to position the camera and the reference. So I'm testing the fit of the blocks. The block on the front I'm not gonna be using later because I found it later a bit awkward to use, but right now I'm just considering also part of the projects. So everything seems correct. So I'm gonna be marking the position where I'm going to drill it to the table. It's just easy, just mark the contour so that I know where to position it, because I'm gonna be moving it around, and I don't want to lose that position later. So for screwing it into the table, I'm gonna be using just two wood screws. I'm gonna be starting the holes with handheld chuck, not with the drill itself, because the drill is, again, big tool. So I don't want it to skate, or it's a big tool on a little work wooden piece. So I find it easier to just start the hole with the handheld drill bit and finish it with the big drill. So I'm just gonna locate the pilot holes for the screws, doing it by hand so that I have more control, and it's also safer for me to do it this way, because I don't have to worry too much about the tool sliding on me. So it's just starting the hole, so I'm not gonna be cutting too much wood off here. Just position it a few turns. The tool is not too sharp, so I can hold it with my hands. It's not too fast, so there's not much going on here. So now that I have the two holes located, I'm gonna be finishing them up with the big drill. But since I only have one drill bit, I'm gonna be using the same drill bit, but I have to change it to put it on the big drill. So here's my drill. Now let me get the chuck key. There we go. Just screw it in place, grab it, and it's just changing the drill bit, so there's not much to it. There we go. Test it. Drill running fine. So I'm not gonna start it on the same place because I don't want it to move around. And here I'm starting the hole again, and I'm gonna be lifting it. My hands are nowhere near the drill bit, so it's okay. And I'm gonna start finish it all the way through. When it comes out, I can check. I'm gonna be doing the same on the other side. I'm not doing it over the place where I need it to be, because as you'll see later, I'm gonna be using the screw to locate the hole. So there we go. I'm just gonna hold it in place. Now that the tool goes all the way through, the drill bit sits straight on the table, and there's less chance for it to wobble around, skate as it's called. So test the fit again one last time. Always make sure to check twice before you do the thing, and everything looks good. So I'm gonna go ahead and drill the first pilot hole. My hand's in the shot, but it's nowhere near the bit, so don't worry. And I'm just gonna hold it. Since the drill bit is straight up on the workbench, it shouldn't skate, so the hole shouldn't move anywhere where I don't want it to be. So it just goes right through. Now, I'm not drilling the other hole because I'm gonna be using the screw, like I said, to locate it. I'm gonna start threading it. There's screw box. I'm gonna use regular wood screw, and I'm gonna screw it just enough so that the tip of the screw pokes through the block pilot hole. And this is just to locate the hole and align it, so everything is aligned. So I'm not starting a new hole, or I'm enlarging the previous hole made. So there we go. There's the tip, and I'm gonna use it to locate the other hole. Now I'm gonna back it up a bit because the the screw went too far, so the workbench and the block touch, and just screw it in place. The wood grabs the workbench and applies tension to the block. As you can see, it starts rolling. I have to hold it down. Screw, 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 and there we go. I'm gonna apply extra pressure so that it countersinks a bit later, but right now I just need for it to maintain the position to drill the other hole. Since the drill is also heavy, it won't rotate, so it's okay. My hands again in the shot, but nowhere near the bit, just holding the block in place. Now here I'm not gonna unscrew it because the other screw is already maintaining the position. I just need for it to not rotate, so it should be easier. There's tension from the first screw, so it shouldn't be too hard to keep it in place and aligned. There we go. Screw, screw, screw all the way through. This one I'm gonna be applying enough tension to countersink it, and then I'm gonna screw the other screw all the way through. I need for it to sit just a bit under the surface of the wood, so that the tool, the Dremel, sits on the wood and not on the metal, because the metal will skate and make a lot of rattling noise, so I don't want that. So I'm countersinking it, being careful not to apply too much pressure or the wood will split and my work would be ruined. So there we go. Block in place. Let's check the fit again, see if everything's correct. The tool sits correctly. It doesn't seem to be moving too much. Right now there's no block supporting the front, so I apply a bit of pressure to check, just so that it doesn't roll over. It doesn't, so everything seems fine. Now for the front, again, I'm not gonna be using the block. I'm just gonna be using some wood screws at an angle, making a sort of a V shape, a triangle shape. This is so that I can position it correctly and it self aligns. So just gonna be putting it one on either side, screwed at an angle. I'm just tapping it here, tap tap tap, to locate the hole and checking for the angle. This is just gonna be again a pilot hole drilled, and make sure I drill it at an angle so that the screw naturally takes the angle of the pilot hole and I don't have to force it to stay that way. So there we go, just drill, easy, and screw the screw. So since the hole is at an angle again, it takes the angle from the drill bit. Now I'm not gonna be screwing it all the way through because I need for it to stick out a bit so that it serves as a stop. Here I'm checking the fit, everything's where it should be, and I'm gonna be positioning the other screw. This needs to be a bit tight, so I'm pressing it against the tool and then tap it to locate the drill hole. There we go, stays in place. Again, change to the drill bit and drill the pilot hole, again checking for the angle. Everything's nice and V-shaped. There we go. And drill, drill, drill. There we go. Position, angle, start the hole. Goes through, no problem. And again, screw it halfway through. And screw, screw, screw. There we go. Nothing difficult, nothing out of the ordinary, just screwing the hole. As you can see now, the V shape is complete. And I'm gonna be checking again the fit from the tool to see how much it wobbles. Now here it's a bit loose, so I'm applying more tension and changing the angle of one of the screws a bit. There we go. This puts some extra tension on the tool so that with with no rotation and with some pressure from the screw heads, which are wider than the screw body, it stays in place. And there we go. Everything's fine, stays in place. Enough tension, checking to see that nothing moves out of the ordinary. There we go. It works. Now, to test it in a work situation, because obviously this is gonna be a workspace tool, so it's gonna need to handle some forces from the cutting. I'm gonna be using a very small piece of acrylic just to demonstrate the cutting tool. The drill bit is an abrasive drill bit. It's like a mushroom shape, so it has a flat side and a curved side on the tip. I'm using the flat side to cut straight, almost square notches on it, and from there, as you can see, it splits very easily. That's it. Hope you like this, and I'll see you next time.